Now to new developments tonight in West Michigan's oil spill. This evening, people affected by that spill will get to speak their mind at a public forum. We have team coverage for you tonight, beginning with 24-hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia live in Marshall with the very latest information on the spill. Tony?
Good evening, Brian. That forum gets underway in just less than a half hour here at the high school. Before that forum got started, we had the chance to talk with officials from both the Environmental Protection Agency and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, plus Enbridge officials and the National Transportation Safety Board to get answers about where things stand right now. Here are a couple of key points. First, the federal government is now authorizing up to $13 million for the EPA to work on cleanup of this spill. And, of course, federal officials are asserting that Enbridge will have to pay that money back. An EPA administrator says that the money is desperately needed for the cleanup. An Enbridge official says cleanup is already underway, not just in the river itself, but on the river banks. The National Transportation Safety Board released a timeline late this afternoon. They say they don't have a cause, but investigators with the NTSB pointed out a couple of things. First, that Sunday morning, the day before the oil spill was noticed, there was a planned shutdown of this pipeline, and that there was a drop in pressure noted at that point, though, according to the NTSB investigators, that would be considered normal, at least by the Enbridge staff. Also, the NTSB pointed out that it was on Monday morning at around 11:15 that Consumers Energy noticed the spill itself. That's a detail 24-hour News 8 brought to you last week. Also, EPA officials say they've now collected 1.8 million gallons of an oil and water mixture out of the Kalamazoo River. We wanted to get some sense of what that means in terms of progress of the cleanup.
Is there any type of percentage, any type of way to gauge how much has been done versus how much is left to do?
Yeah, that's a tough one to answer because for two reasons. Number one, the amount of material released was an estimate. We know that a large percentage of what's been shipped off site to date is oil, and the largest percentage of what's contained on site now is water.
And we know about 550,000 gallons is what's been shipped off-site. And again, that official with the EPA says that's mostly oil. The total collected, 1.8 million gallons. Of course, we'll be at this town hall meeting tonight to see what the community has to ask, what the community has to say. We also want to point out that federal officials will be able to meet one-on-one with affected residents. And also, Enbridge has set up a tent here at the high school. They will be talking with officials, or with residents, I should say, one-on-one after tonight's town hall as well. Live in Marshall, Tony Tagliavia, 24-hour News 8.